We often talk about people passing away from old age, as if the human body has a built-in timer that eventually runs down to zero. But time itself doesn't kill anyone. When people reach the end of their lives, they succumb to specific age-related diseases, things like heart failure, respiratory conditions, and cancer. Right now, medical science can manage many of these conditions, but the vast majority of them cannot be permanently cured. Our mortality is dictated by our physical vulnerability to these specific targeted failures. Imagine a near-future scenario where that suddenly changes. Suppose medical science advances to a point where every age-related disease can be instantly and completely cured. If a heart or a lung begins to fail, it is simply swapped out for a pristine, perfect synthetic or bioprinted replica. With a disease-free shell and limitless replacement parts, it seems logical that we could keep the machine running indefinitely. But there is a flaw in this logic. Even with perfect organs and zero disease, a hidden expiration date is written into the rest of the body. To see the actual cause of aging, we have to look past the macro scale of whole organs and zoom down into our microscopic cellular environment. Scientists generally agree that human biochemistry places a strict, natural ceiling on our lifespan, right around 120 years. As we grow older, the DNA inside our cells progressively loses its ability to multiply and divide cleanly. When that internal replication process degrades, the body loses its baseline ability to repair the microscopic wear and tear that occurs every single day. Swapping in a heart doesn't solve this. If the foundational building blocks of the surrounding tissue can no longer rebuild themselves, the biological structure as a whole eventually collapses. Aging research is now moving past the treatment of individual organs. The current focus is on the source of the breakdown: cellular replication decay. Currently, researchers are developing tools designed to slow, stop, or even reverse this decay at the DNA level. This chart shows how these interventions alter our potential timeline. The natural limit stops at 120 years, but if science can halt this specific DNA degradation, that limit stretches to 200 years. Pushing the human lifespan past its current maximum would rewrite our family structures, our global economies, and the entirety of human society. Reaching 2 centuries would be a massive medical victory, but it is ultimately a postponement. Defeating death entirely requires a more extreme intervention. True biological immortality means looking past the 200-year mark to a state where the body never actually expires. The rules of our current biochemistry make an infinite lifespan physically impossible. Our biology is specifically built to operate within a cycle of growth and decay. To live forever, we would have to replace the human biological system with a different framework, one that is not programmed to break down. This means reforming our cellular logic from the ground up. To achieve permanent survival, we must leave behind the biological framework that currently defines our species. This requirement creates a choice between our survival and our identity. The biochemistry we would be replacing is exactly what makes us Homo sapiens. Our physical experience is defined by the very DNA we would be discarding to avoid death. If we move into a body with a completely alien cellular structure, we have to ask if the resulting being is still human. Overcoming the final limit of mortality requires more than a scientific breakthrough. It requires us to step outside of the human definition. To live forever, we would have to become something else.